Hi, everyone. Welcome to another off season episode of the Fantas House podcast with me, Claire. And for this episode, I will be featuring a review of the Korean movie Forbidden Fairytale. The movie is about a girl named Danby. She's an aspiring fairy tale writer and she wants to follow in the footsteps of her late father, who is an award winning fairy tale writer himself. The thing is, he passed away when she was very young, so she wants to honor him by winning her own fairy tale writing competition. While she's in the process of writing this book, she decides that she will start working as a civil servant, and this is where all her problems begin. Danby discovers that she's actually working for the youth protection team. This is basically the department that has to watch and read all the potentially illegal things that get posted online. They are the ones who decide if it's fit to be accessed by the youth or not. While working there, she runs into this protester who publishes online adult novels. She hits his car with her bicycle and she ends up needing to pay him 100 million won for damages. Thing is, Danby doesn't have any money, so she strikes up a deal with the publisher and says that she'll pay him not in cash, but with writing 20 adult novels for him. Surprisingly, he agrees. Writing adult novels is not that easy for Danby. First problem, she doesn't know where to start. She tries to copy some material that they have from work, but then her mentor, Jung Sok, discovers what she's doing, so she decides she needs to tell him her problem, and he strikes a deal with her. He'll keep quiet if she promises to stay at work for at least 3 months. That's because that's the amount of time that a newbie needs to stay for him to be promoted to another department. So problem solved on that one. But then problem two. She still needs ideas for her work. Danby then decides on another game plan, to ask her friends for ideas. Danby decides that she can use her friends' personal stories to inspire her work. And then she gets Jung-sok to read them. She's so good at this that Jung-sok actually gets affected by what he reads, although he tries really hard not to show it. After her novels are published online, Danby's novels actually became hits. And that's why she was approached by a rival publisher. This guy, he used to be a writer for the publisher that Danby is working for at the moment, but the guy was never good enough until he decided to use his personal experiences as basis for his work. As flashy as this new publisher is, he's actually super shady. He records encounters with women just so he can write about them, and then he publishes the affairs with them without their consent. The two publishers actually fight over Danby, and she decides that just to get it all over with, she'll compete with the flashy publisher. If her work becomes more popular than his, then he will leave her alone and not tell anyone who she really is. If it's the other way around, she will actually sign with him. In between all of this, Danby actually makes a mistake. She mistakenly submits her adult novel to the fairy tale competition, and that causes her publisher to drop her. And she's also rejected by the organizers when she tries to submit the right novel. This is also depressing for her, so she decides to go home to her mom. And her mom actually says that she doesn't see the big deal. The only reason that she says that her father got into fairy tales was just to write it for her. And now she's actually doing it for him. So she thinks that father and daughter are being really weird about this fairy tale thing. Then her mom reveals to her that her dad actually wrote other things. And so the mom gives her this box full of her dad's work. And that's when she discovers that her dad actually wrote adult novels. Adult fairy tales, to be specific. She actually cries about it and she imagines her father telling her to just do what makes her happy. Danby has a good cry about it and then she goes back to work. But the thing is, Danby's next work is such a hit that it beats the other publisher's work. And the guy, being the jerk that he is, he doesn't keep his word and he outs her, which results in Danby being given a suspension at the office. Danby then decides it's time to choose what she really wants to do. So instead of a suspension, Danby decides to quit and write adult novels full time. The movie ends with Jung-sok and Danby on a plane together, assuming that they're going on a vacation or something, and they're already a couple. She looks at the plane's toilet and she sees a couple coming out, and it gives her another idea for a novel, and she starts writing again. So basically, she's now an adult novel writer, and she's now with Jung-sok. And that's where the movie comes to an end. What did I think of the movie? Well, Well, it had a lot of images and scenes involving a lot of R rated things, but it also had a lot of humor and a lot of heart. I mean, I loved the part where Danby was asked in different occasions about what truly made her happy. It really brings home that idea that many of us do things because we feel we have to, but ultimately it's not what brings us joy. I also love that there was a commentary about how people look down on adult novels and why they shouldn't because it's actually a form of literature in itself. And there was also this part where they talked about how these books only include those scenes because it's part of what makes stories involving adults real, which, well, they have a point. I think this whole adult novel thing is such a debatable topic. And I know that the movie is not the place to be philosophical about it, but I love that they mentioned the idea of it. Did I enjoy the movie? It was okay. It was not that heavy of a movie to watch, but it wasn't that boring either. I'm not sure if I'd watch it again, but I would probably say that the almost 2 hours of it wasn't a waste of time. And if you're a fan of Super Junior C1, you would probably be interested in this one. Not sure about the whole bottle scene. If you know, you know. Um, but apart from that, I think it's all good. Fellow Fantasals, I hope you enjoyed my quick review about the movie Forbidden Fairytale. If you want me to review other Korean movies or Korean dramas, please let me know and please leave it in the comments below or on our social media pages. Again, thank you for listening or watching this off-season episode of the Fantasals podcast. It's me, Claire, and I will catch you again next time.